Sawant sir has also joined. Good morning to everyone. Now I have the privilege to welcome the first speaker of the session, fungicides in plant health management. Fungicides have a significant role in the management of the crop diseases, and we have a very renowned speaker today, Dr. R.D. Sawant, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of. Good morning, sir.
Unmute.
Dr. S.D. Sawant.
Dr. S.D. Sawant the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the BSKKV Dapoli. I invite sir. Before that, I have a privilege to introduce very briefly. It will take a session if I start introducing the giant personality, Dr. S.D. Sawant. He took the charge of the Vice Chancellor of Dr. Balasaheb Sawant Konkan Krishi Vidyalaya Vidyapeeth Dapoli in 2019. It coincided with the COVID pandemic, I believe, sir, because on 19th of March, sir took over. He has got a very wide administrative experience, more than 20 years, 45 years of administrative experience. He is an accomplished researcher, an able administrator, and a farmer-friendly scientist. Sir is known synonymous with the work on grapes. If I read the biodata, it will take a session. He has got many laurels to his credit, many awards like Lifetime Achievement Award, then the S.A. Dabulkar Prayag Parivar Puraskar Award, APEDA Export Award, then the Best Research Paper Awards, Poster Presentation Awards, and he, as an administrator, he has worked more than 25 years in different capacity and also led the NRC on grapes in the national and international arena. He is a known accomplished researcher, developed several technologies on grapes and major extension publications, international exposure. He has visited many countries in the capacity for the training as well as participation in the international symposia and seminars. Several publications with high impact factor journals. So I have the privilege to welcome Dr. S.D. Sawant, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Balasaheb Sawant Konkan Krishi Vidyapeeth Dapoli. Sir is going to share his vast experience on the grape story, because I had an opportunity to visit the European countries, and in European countries market grape is being exported from India, Indian grape. So Indian grape always is liked, and today's topic is use of fungicides in disease management with objective to produce zero residue in product, a grape story. Sir, it is over to you, sir. Dr. Sawant, the Honorable Vice Chancellor.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, sir, giving my very exaggerated introduction. I don't know many things in grapes are really famous across the country. With the efforts of our grape growers, basically. Today's topic, am I audible first?
Yes, yes, sir.
My slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me start. See, even though this is a topic on use of fungicide, I would say that it is more on integrated disease management. Only difference probably is we have added objective that zero residue should be the end product, in the end product. So grape, that since it is an exportable commodity, we were more worried about residue in the harvestable products. So zero is a very indefinite term. So to make it monitorable, or to make it easy rather, let me define what I really mean by zero residue. So for that purpose, I have given the definition. So basically, maximum residue limits are the monitoring criteria. So at the end of the day, at the time of harvest, residue should be, whatever detected should be below MRL, if at all they are detected. Then number of pesticide detected could be many times. So while this definition, we are saying that they should not be more than 2 or 3. This is a standard definition, but to make it more approachable to word zero, we still make it more stringent, that whatever residues are detected, they should not be more than 1/3 of the recognized international MRLs, maximum residue limits. So that because these days, the detection levels of the residues are not only in ppm, they could be in ppb. In some of the residues are 0.05 ppm and all that. So we say that if we say 1/3 of MRL, that itself is a very negligible quantity, basically. And then second criteria we add is that a summation of the detected residue should not be more than 1 ppm. On regular basis, in olden days when we were detecting residues on only HPLC, probably the detection limit was 1 ppm. But only when the mass spectroscopy came into picture, the ppb levels are being detected. So if I say that 1 ppm, what total of all the detectable residues, if they are not more than 2-3 and their detected residue is below 1/3 of the recognized MRL, and the detected 2-3 chemicals, summation should not be 1 ppm. So it itself is a very stringent definition, and I am very proud that in grape it is achievable. Grape is normally blamed for its high use of pesticides, but in exportable grape, our grape grower has made it possible. And the concept what we have developed over the last 20-25 years of researches in National Research Center for Grapes, I am trying to present in the form of integrated pest management plan. So if you talk about it, it's basically we are saying that we should be using pesticide or fungicide in less amount. It's not easily possible. So first, our effort should be making all the efforts to reduce inoculum in the vineyards. So, so grapes are affected, or important diseases in grape, if I am to talk about it, will be downy mildew, anthracnose, and powdery mildew. So I will just concentrate my all talk in these 3 diseases. In grapes, as many of you may be actually aware, that there are 2 stages. There is a foundation pruning in the month of April, and from foundation pruning, you remove all the canes or growth of the previous year and allow a new growth. That new growth is developed to make it fruitful and mature, and you take up another pruning in the month of October or thereafter, and that pruning, whatever the new shoot comes out, is the fruitful growth, and there the grape grows. So necessarily, we are talking about the what we need to do after October pruning. because the product is going to come after October pruning. But before that, we have to set the stage with a minimum inoculum. So I'm just flashing some of the ideas. The anthracnose major inoculum is in the form of spots developed on the canes. So I'm showing these pictures. If you do not allow inoculum to develop on canes, or if at all it is developed, they are removed and cleaned, then the disease can be controlled easily. In the month of September, October, that is in just before the October pruning, if you are able to spray trichoderma on those shoots, it will help in reducing the inoculum drastically, because that time there will be conditions will be humid and trichoderma will work better on those canes. It has been proved. Then it is also important to collect burn downy mildew infected affected parts in the vineyard during that same period. Just before you defoliate, the defoliated leaves could be full of downy mildew infection. This should be removed and burned, so it will reduce the inoculum. During the same period, due to rains, fag end of the rains and other things, you may get lots of growth near the ground level. The primary inoculum is in the ground. So these leaves, which are very close to the stem, get infected, and they are being used as primary inoculum in the October pruning. And the location of that infected leaves is in near the ground where the spray doesn't normally reach. So we recommend that these shoots should be removed and destroyed. आगे नहीं जा रहा. Yeah. So we have another important disease is powdery mildew. So we have a little different opinions about the life cycle of powdery mildew in Maharashtra based on various our research things. See, there are two kinds of powdery mildews, Clistothecea forming and Clistothecea not forming. Definitely, we don't get Clistothecea in Maharashtra or in surrounding areas, but the science says that we have presence of Clistothecea forming powdery mildew. Another thing, and the Clistotheceas are not formed because we don't have a mating times. So similarly, there are two kinds of powdery mildew, one which comes on the flag shoots, that young shoots, and the another comes on the stem and leaf. So genetically, both are different. And what we have is not the flag shoot powdery mildew strains. We have powdery mildew which grows on the leaves and the stems. So which indicates that the inoculum in the form of conidia remaining on the stems is important. That's why we have introduced a recommendation saying that pre-pruning sprays of various kinds, we do normally give copper or similar fungicides for the control of downy mildew, but we say that more than that, it is important to spray sulfur to control this inoculum of conidial inoculum present on the stem on the in the vineyards before these new sprouts come out. So here it is very important to inoculum reduction through sulfur sprays before pruning. So this is the kind of infected areas we talk about powdery mildew inoculum. Powdery mildew in a later stages also affected by this kind of leaves. These leaves symptoms are primarily produced due to the potash deficiency. And if these leaves are formed, there are good microclimate developed in the leaves where there is use of pesticide also, I mean, fungicide also doesn't reach into these areas, and because of the microclimate, the powdery mildew develops on such leaves, which is a very important inoculum. So if such leaves are to be avoided in the vineyard, first thing we have to take care of potassium deficiency, if at all there in the vineyards. Then one more important aspect we are talking about is that trichoderma or bacillus, they are capable of inducing resistance in plant diseases to various diseases, including powdery mildew, anthracnose, and downy mildew. So that induce systemic resistance. What is that? This is the thing. So for that purpose, if you drench 1 liter of formulation of various kind of these biocontrol agents into the root zone before pruning, it can help in reducing the disease potential in the vineyard. And this has been proved in various experiments, some of the data which I would like to flash. There's another thing. So most of these are probiotics. So this is, I'm showing you that most of the vineyard owners have ponds in which if they use the aquaculture, the use of aquaculture can induce population of probiotics in the water, which is fed with floating kind of food used for fish. And that water also, when used for irrigation, can induce resistance. So then third part, background part we are talking about is disease forecasting and forecasting based management. Forecasting models for downy mildew and powdery mildew have been established. They are available to farmers through the online information systems. And then we normally give the ideas to farmers that whenever there is a risk, certain amount of risk of any specific disease, you have to use fungicides. Otherwise, you can avoid or delay application in the vineyards. So this is also important to reduce the use of fungicides in the vineyard. Some of the common ideas in the farmer's mind is that the downy mildew starts infecting at the pupa stage, what you call just bud sprouts period during the early pruning period. And then, in such situations, you see that there are some early developed shoots which are also not covered with any fungicide earlier. So we recommend that if you give at this stage the first spray, kindly remove these overdeveloped shoots. Somebody has put on the mic. Sound on.
Request you kindly, others kindly mute. It is disturbing the speaker.
Yeah. So these kind of shoots, if they are removed, it can help in reducing inoculum in the field later stages. This is what, I mean, the Ponga stage people are worried. If at all, if the conditions are suitable for disease development during this period, then we recommend use of mancozeb formulations as dusting formation. So it helps in reducing the early infection as well as inoculum in the vineyard as such. Then in early stages, people resort to systemic fungicides. We say that if the fungicide are used exactly at a 3-leaf stage and thereafter, then it increases its efficiency, because whatever is sprayed before the 3 leaves are formed are best. Many times 2 to 3 rounds of sprays people were using before 3-leaf stage. So it should be used before, should not be used before 3-leaf stage. 3-leaf stage onwards, if you use, it increases the efficiency of the fungicide in the form of reaching to the target areas, more absorption of fungicide so that single spray can work for a longer period and so on. So Another one technology we also tell about is the downy mildew infection also only takes place through the stomata. Here I am showing the electron micrograph. Please, somebody has put on the sound on, mute it, please. Hello. So, downy mildew infects through the stomata, and once the infection goes, it infects under the subepidermal area, develops its growth, and the new sporangia and sporangiophores come out of stomata. The stomata is the main part. So if you, in the high risk period, if you are able to use a good spreaders with a very high reduction in surface tension in the solution, it can lead to stomatal flooding, as shown in this particular diagram. The A is a stomata, and normally the droplet remains outside. But if the good spreaders are being used, stomatal flooding takes place. And there, once the stomata is flooded, possibility of the downy mildew infection is substantially reduced. So if this technology also can be useful in reduction and pesticide use. Then you should spray systemic fungicides when the leaves are growing and most of the leaves are accessible to the spray coverage. This is the right stage in case of grapes. If you take up whatever sprays during this spray, at this particular stage, the coverage is fantastic. The growth stage in such a way that absorption and translocation of fungicide applied will be maximum. We have shown that if the 1 or 2 sprays during this period are of systemic fungicides are taken, further possibility of disease is substantially reduced because of the proper coverage and distribution of fungicide within the plant system. So this is the growth you can take. As the growth increases, it's very difficult to get more than 70–80% coverage of the shoots. So then another important aspect is taking the note of possibility of the resistance to fungicides, particularly against systemic fungicides, and use an appropriate strategy. This was one study we have taken. Wherever the number of sprays were used minimum, strobilurin compounds, which are downy mildew and powdery mildew fungicides, their resistance to downy mildew, EC50 values were in less than ppm, while in Sangli and Nasik, which are major areas where the number of sprays were very high over 1 or 2 years, the resistance was developed in many cases more than 1000 ppm. So it is better to follow a strategy that you use bare minimum fungicides of this kind, or especially we used to make a recommendation that when disease is already present, or if the conditions are highly favorable to disease development, avoid use of such fungicides which have potential to develop resistance in the field. So we have tested them in less than 1 ppm. You see the growth, while in some of the cases more than 1000 ppm has also shown the growth in leaf disc method. This is published work because we have detected in very large area. Then the similar thing, strobilurins have also shown resistance against powdery mildew. So these are some of the analytical work we did and detected the presence of powdery mildew resistance in the field. I mean, this is just to show you. So the major fungicides we are using, those belong to either Strabilerine or QI group or CAA group. Those are dimethomorph, iprovalicarp, and mandipropamide formulations. Here you can see that Strabilerines are showing resistance up to 1000 ppm, while CAA are developing resistance only up to 38 or 40 ppm or so. What this means that in case of Strabilerine, if they use number of sprays or increase the concentration, it cannot help you. But in CAA fungicides, in the practical terms, if you use higher concentration slightly or number of sprays are increased due to higher concentration buildup in the field conditions, CAA group will be useful. So in that sense, I would say that CAA fungicide have less risk and QI or Strabilerine group have higher risk of resistance. So they should be avoided. Higher risk fungicide should be avoided. Several work we have done. Now, these are the fungicides of high risk group. We say that they should not be used, while these are the fungicides. That is, I have mentioned about CAA group. There are other group is which contains cymoxanil. Curzet is the brand name we are popularly using, and phosphonates, that is alid phosphatyl Al on other similar potassium salt of phosphorus acid. These fungicides can be used. Now, at here we form a strategy. See, we don't recommend or suggest that use of Strabilerine should be done. We say that you avoid, keep them at backstage. Metalaxyl based, that acylalanine jo groups hai, they are old ones. The resistance is again well established. Don't use them, those fungicides, when risk is high. While other fungicides, they can be used. In this, we have done another study. That study indicates the PHI, what we call pre-harvest interval. That means the number of days required to dissipate the spray of, residue of these fungicides less than MRL or less than 1/3 of MRL in our case. If you know the rate of dissipation of these fungicides, we can say how many days before, if you use this fungicide, we can ensure that at the time of harvest, there will be no residue. And this is the study which we could do at NRC grapes for the most of the fungicides. For your information, dimethomorph, iprovalicarp, and mandipropamide, if they are sprayed up to 35 to 40 days of October pruning, there means about real near flowering stage of new growth, there will be no residue detected at the time of harvest. So in that situation, we would say that when the downy mildew sprays are to be done, prefer this compound up to 25 to 40 days of October pruning. If you require fungicides even then the relative subsequent options are there. Alid and potassium salt of phosphorus acid, by and large, do not have any toxic residue at all. However, in international situation, the potassium salt of phosphorus acid or phosphorus acid present is detected in the form of residue. Even though in Indian situation, we say that it is not toxic at all, that means the phosphonate category chemicals can be used anytime. However, for exportable grapes, those can be used only up to 60 days. While cymoxanil will not be detected even if it is sprayed up to 60-65 days of October pruning. So cymoxanil will be the last one can be used for the control of downy mildew. So when you talk about downy mildew, our strategy will be like this. Some of the residue, resistance management strategies, some is based on PHMs. So if we follow this strategy, there are 99% chances that there will be not even a single fungicide detected at the time of harvest. Now, when we come for powdery mildew, now powdery mildew chemicals, we are, most of the powdery mildew starts at the time of flowering, that is 35 to 40 days of the October pruning. And it is said that if the powdery mildew is properly controlled at the time of flowering to fruit set period, normally it will never form a serious levels thereafter. So most of these systemic fungicides are high performance fungicides we recommend at the time of flowering to fruit set. But then we should be very critical that this triazole and many new generation systemic fungicides for powdery mildew should not be used after 55 to 60 days of October pruning. It's mainly because after 60 days, when the fruits are developing, after the fruit set, if anything sprayed on those fruits, there are very high chances of detecting them at the time of harvest. So we say that they should not be used once the fruit set has taken place. Then what else can be used? We say that the simple chemical that can be used is sulfur. Sulfur doesn't have any residue issue at all. That can be used till 15 to 20 days before harvest. And then still then there is no residue issue in case of sulfur. Apart from this, we have got some of the other chemicals like potassium bicarbonate, then chitosan. Chitosan formulations are now available. Then a silver complex of H2A2. Chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide is another water-soluble gas can be used for control of powdery mildew, and their formulations are also available. These all compounds can be used as almost like a trump card in case of very well managed vineyards. It's mainly why I say trump card, because if you go with the very good strategy and last stage of maturity, if the conditions are cloudy with a less light or low temperature and so on, there is a possibility of sudden development of powdery mildew. And if that happens, the grower goes into panic and he will use again systemic fungicides like triazoles and all, and he will get in the traps of residues. So you should have something with you which can be used during such conditions. And these are the chemicals like particularly chlorine dioxide or silver complex of H2A2, chitosan, so on. They are equally effective as any good fungicide and do not have any residue issue. And in the event of outburst of powdery mildew during near maturity period, this can be very effectively used without any trap of residue issue. Then, of course, we say that to make sulfur more efficient in controlling powdery mildew, we should be using biocontrol agents along with it. So strategically, we are telling that you use sulfur after fruit set, use alternatively or whenever conditions are humid and favorable for biocontrol agents, then we should be using biocontrol agents such as trichoderma, Bacillus subtilis, even Verticillium lacani, and so on. In this situation, see, even we talk about ampelomyces, which now formulations are available in India. So ampelomyces, whenever there is a peak of winter, November, December, and January period, you can go for ampelomyces as a biocontrol agent. Slight temperature rises, you can go for trichoderma. When the temperature rises further after Makar Sankranti and thereafter, there the humidity drops, so the fungal biocontrol agents may not work very good, but Bacillus subtilis or Pseudomonas fluorescens, this kind of bacteria can give you good control of powdery mildew. So there is a and this both these combine you can use strategy. This is what is explained here. Now I would like to show you. See, when you use triazoles, they can kill used biocontrol agents at the concentration of 1 ppm or even less than 1 ppm. While if you use sulfur, the EC50 of sulfur is more than 10,000 ppm. So, and this has we have tested in field conditions actually, that whenever you use sulfur, first thing, this is all published work. I am just showing you here that sulfur can control powdery mildew, and the trichoderma has also shown that it can control powdery mildew under field conditions and then suitable climatic conditions better than sulfur in many times, or better than control. So there is some amount of control is given by trichoderma definitely. And when sulfur is added, I mean alternated with biocontrol agent, the control is that square boxes are showing the lesser disease. This particular track is when sulfur is used in alternation with biocontrol agent. So there are two things. They work in the field conditions, and when they are in combination, they improve control of the powdery mildew. And this has been proved, and then this you can continuously use after fruit set. So it will give you very good control of powdery mildew, and there will be no residue issue at all. Now the last point which I want to make a mention is bioremediation of pesticide residues. This is with certain assumption that whatever you spray after fruit set, by and large, even though compound is systemic, a large amount of residue, most of the persistent residue remains on the surface of the fruits. That residue can be reduced by application of microbes on the fruits. Which could be those microbes? So we have been testing various microbes, and we have developed one particular strain of Bacillus subtilis called DR39, which has been now registered, and we have developed its formulation. So this paper we published out of that, which says that dissipation of triazole fungicides and many multi-class pesticide residues can be increased by application of this particular bacteria under field conditions. So PowerPoint. So this is a formulation of that which is being which has been developed, and it is made available. But as on today, it is not registered product. But it can be. It is effective and it is field tested. So it is effective and it can reduce the rate of dissipation in case of buprofexin, insecticide, myclopentanyl, a fungicide, tetraconazole, carbendazim. These again are fungicides. Dimethomorph, hexaconazole, and fipronil is another insecticide. I mean, there are many compounds whose dissipation in the field condition can be increased with the help of application of this bacteria directly on the fruits. So we just recommend that about 30 to 40 days before harvest, if this particular bacillus is applied into the field, it can control powdery mildew. At the same time, reduce the residue by increased dissipation of the most of the pesticide which are applied on it. And this ultimately can be resulting product will be residue free or with fulfilling the criteria which we defined in the beginning. So at 3 to 4 locations, we have been testing this particular technology, the entire technology, including the DR39 into the field conditions, and ultimately which says that if you follow all this, it is very easily possible that your final product grape will be residue free, or I would say fulfilling the definition in the beginning which we made a mention. So if it can happen in grape, in a crop where most of the people blame it for the excess pesticide use, I believe that it can happen in any other crop, because people in other crops may not be using so much of pesticide. So that's what I mean to say. Management, disease management for zero residue production. Thank you. Thank you for patient hearing.
Thank you, sir, for your excellent presentation. And when I was looking that time, I felt I should not stop, sir, at any time, because sharing 30 years of valuable experience in 20 minutes is absolutely not possible. And sir has given right from the disease scenario till the bioremediation of the use of successful use of the fungicides to produce a defined, sir has produced himself, and he's defined the zero product with the fungicides. I feel, thank you, sir, on behalf of the organizers and on my personal behalf, I profusely thank you.
Thank you.
We will take up the questions maybe at the end. We will go with the next speaker. Next speaker, are you ready, Dr. Venkatesh? Dr. H.M. Venkatesh.
Keep this on. Mute.
Hello.
Venkatesh.
Dr. Venkatesh.
Dr. Venkatesha from PI Industries.
He is not there. Then we will go with the next speaker.
Dr. Sunil Nagnur.
Dr. Sunil Nagnur. Dr. Sunil Nagnur.
Dr. Sunil Nagnur.
Hello.
Yes, sir. He's sharing slides.
He's sharing the slides. Dr. Sunil Nagnur.
Sunil Nagnur.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I welcome Sunil Nagnur, the second lead speaker from UPL India Limited. He is going to speak on recent trends in fungicides innovation in India. And I'm proud to say that Sunil Nagnur is a product of UAS Dharwad. He did his MSc Agri in Agronomy in 1999, and his profession is agrochemicals and industry crop protection. He has got more than 20 years of experience on product development, marketing with the rallies, Bayer, as well as UPL. His skills are, he holds the industry product development, R&D, database management, technical expertise on the herbicides, product training, and the people management. Of course, the major task is the people management as well as the product management. So now I invite Sunil Nagnur to give his lead talk on recent trends in fungicide innovation, and you have got 20 minutes time.
So thank you, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So good morning to everyone. So my name is Sunil Nagnur. I am representing from UPL India Limited. So based out of Mumbai. So I am going to discuss now the recent trends in fungicide innovation. So before I discuss about the trend in
Sir, excuse me.
Sorry.
Sunil Nagnur, sir, please put on your video.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's on, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So before I start discussion about the recent trends in fungicide innovation, I would like to share. I'm not able to. Yeah. So I would like to share the snapshot about our organization. So definitely I feel proud to say that UPL is the 5th largest crop protection company in globally. So with a revenue of 5 billion US dollars, and we operate almost 130 countries across the globe, and we have 48 the state of art kind of manufacturing units across the globe, and we are almost 10,500 employees globally, and we have 25 plus acquisitions happened in 20 years. With recent one is acquisition with Arista Life Science, and we have granted almost 241 patents across the globe, and 13,000 plus registrations we got. So having said that, UPL is the 5th largest crop protection company globally. So what we offer to the farming community. So we are into a seeds, that's Advanta. We are into a soil solution. We are into a nutrition and stimulation. We are into a crop protection. We are into a crop protection like fungicides, insecticides, herbicides. In fungicides, if I take few examples, SOF is the product which we launched, and it's now going very well. And recently we have launched a product called Ranman, that is Cyzopamide. It's doing extremely well to address the womb-associated kind of the diseases. So we are also into a biosolutions. So we have almost 18 products in our basket as of now. So we have bio-nematicide, bio-fungicides, and even bio-insecticides. So other than this, we are basically UPL is a solution provider. Other than this, we also cater services to the farming community. So in a different areas, like we have others farm services, very high tech equipments we purchased recently, and we are giving services to the farmers. That's a spraying application. So very high tech the spraying formulation. And we also into other say Kisan Center. So we do a lot of there are expertise sitting at different locations. Whenever there is a need for the farmer, if they call, they will give advice to the farming community. We do also have a Unimart units at different the locations. We can get the product in one the place. We can get the training, and also we can get it identified the disease and insect pest. The scientists will be based out of Unimart. So having said all this, the facts and figures about the UPL, so it's a very pride moment for all of us that our owner and our chairman UPL, Rajubhai Shroff, he has been given Padma Bhushan Award very recently, which is the highest, the national award. He has been awarded very recently. So coming to the global market and overview. So as of, I think, as of 2019, the market size is almost only 18 billion US dollars. So if we talk about the key crop segments, so fruits and vegetables is the growing segment. A lot of consumption of these fungicides, followed by cereals and soybean. So these three key crop segments put together around 60% consumption of the fungicides. So what are the key drivers for the consumption of these fungicides, or adoption of the new innovative the products, and there will be untreated now crops are the treating. For example, now sprayings are happening for the wheat. Now the sprayings are happening for the corn. Basically, this touchicum blight and maize blight, and still there are some the vegetables like clustered bean is another crop where a lot of sprayings are happening. So these are the key, very primary key drivers which helps to increase the sales of fungicides. If I talk about the reason wise, so ASEAN markets have the maximum share of 31%, followed by Brazil and Europe. Again, which I discussed already, the crops. So which are those Asian countries which consume highest fungicides are China, then Japan, India, and Indonesia. So we do also have some of the key products globally, are mancozeb, prothioconazole, boscalid, captan, copper, sulfur, and so on. So if you see the right side, this key molecules, so which contributes almost 18 the $1 billion US dollar. So top 2-3 products which contributes the $1 billion, but these products have definitely regulatory challenges in the coming years. So industry is working very hard to find for the replacement strategies for these kind of molecules which are going out from the market after some time, like azoxystrobin, prothioconazole, and mancozeb. Of course, a lot of discussions are happening around about the mancozeb, but industry is very much prepared to find alternate strategies to replace these products. Sorry, coming to the India market and overview. So these are the top 10 the diseases which contributes almost 60 to 70% of the fungicide contribution. Value wise, if I talk about 1,200 to 1,300 the crores contribution. So the maximum, the share of the taken by the sheath blight, downy mildew, followed by the leaf spot and the blights. So right side, if you see, these are the top 10 selling products in Indian market. So the top one product is a Nativo, is from Bayer. Second one is a azoxystrobin plus dipenoconazole, and third product is a carbendazim plus mancozeb, is our SAF. So coming to the mega trends are very positive towards the horticulture consumption and support the growth. So what I would like to convey the message here is that so almost 40% so of Indian population will reside in urban areas, and the per capita income is increasing, and there is a sense of health conscious. The definitely will impact the fruits and vegetable consumption. So what I mean to convey here, the message is that there is a high income, per capita income, there is a high population, and there is a high awareness of the health conscious because of these the parameters. So which definitely will help for the production of more number of vegetables and the horticulture crops. Ultimately, we can correlate with the consumption of fungicides. So this is the market dynamics which we are currently seeing. A lot of discussions are happening around, and so as a growers, what they are looking for, what they are seeing, the dynamic, the changes in the market. A lot of discussions are happening around the resistance and the MRL issues. The frequent resistance to SDHI and stogurulan compounds are happening, and there are more challenge of the MRL issues, and there is a low multi-site options. Actually, if regulatory challenges comes to India for phasing out this mancozeb, we have to prepare very strongly to to find alternate strategy for replacing this mancozeb. So coming to the second, the dynamics, the government and even scientific community is very positive towards the horticulture, the crops, like a lot of the good policies are bringing into lot of subsidies the government is giving.
Your audio is not clear, sir. You can.
Sorry, sir.
Your audio is not clear. Time we can you can switch off your video so that audio will be clear.
Okay. Yeah. So coming to the traders, so there is a lot of demand for the more quality the food, and also again another very challenging the market dynamic we can the talk about is the volatility of the season, the weather and the pest disease complexity is there. So almost everyone is experiencing. Coming to the operational, there is a lot of labor challenges and also skill development. So these are the very market dynamics which we are experiencing now. So what are the very important key future the trends? So the younger and the better informed for the growers for the horticulture. Nowadays, now we are experiencing the new phases. The young generation, not only the agriculture graduates are entering into the agriculture production, but also there are engineers from software engineers, maybe from IIN. The graduates, they are entering into this agriculture. This is very good sign for our future. So secondly, service and solutions will be very strongly demanded. So the lot of inputs are available, but still there is a lot of the demand, the very strong demand for services and solution. And third important point is too much information is reaching to the growers by different means, maybe from the internet, maybe from the social media, maybe from the company representative, from the scientific community. So too much of information is reaching to the growers, and there is a proper skill development in horticulture is need to be addressed jointly. And also there is a government and scientific community is very positive for horticulture the production. So now this is the time. Of course, we are working jointly, industry as well as collaborating with the scientific community. So now it is a time to still work collaboratively to address and to help the horticulture growers. Yeah. So this is another slide. Fruits and vegetable growth stronger, but the high volatility and demand for high innovation and MRL management. So what this is the basically volatility chart. So what I would like to convey message here is lot of volatility among the crops which we have listed here. There's a lot of volatility for the vegetables and the fruits. Basically the commodity prices and average swings, pest and diseases and the resistance. The same time you can see very good the growth for these the vegetables and fruits because a lot of dietary changes are happening right now. There's a lot of income, per capita income, so people are ready to spend money for the fruits and vegetables. There is a production demand. Because of consumption demand, there will be a production demand. There's a lot of innovation is coming up from the industry. If the industry, any company, they wanted to launch a product, so first they will look into vegetables and fruits because they have seen a growth in that. So even a lot of demands for the quality. So in that way, a lot of volatility, the same time, a lot of growth is seen for the fruits and vegetable production. So coming to the fungicide molecule outlook as a trend. So if you see the left side, these key molecules which I have mentioned, almost 60 out of 21, almost 60% of the products which are under high risk regulatory and which are sold, basically which are consumed more on the fruits and vegetables. Only 6 products are which are very the safe to use. So there is a regulatory the challenges. So as I said in previously that, so there is no industry is working very hard to find alternate strategies for this high risk product. And coming to the how this innovation is happening from the era of contact fungicides when it was launched, when these products were launched during 1885 to 1965. Then second generation of fungicides have been launched with during 66 to 76, which are systemic and site specific fungicides. And third generation of fungicides have been launched 1977 and 1999, which are very systemic, site-specific fungicides and broad spectrum. So coming to the new generation fungicides have started coming into a market from 1990. So which are very new generation fungicides have a very novel mode of action which have significant impact on plant diseases. Other than this novel mode of action, so these products have very low dosages and also broad spectrum. So these are very systemic the properties. So because of all these properties, now these new generation fungicides are picking up very well. So in that category, so this includes complex third inhibitors are launched, succinate SDHIs are the launched. So way forward, so there are companies are striving hard to launch altogether very new and innovative the chemistries. So there are almost 6-8 products they are going to launch. The first one is from BASF, and pidiflumeton is from the Syngenta. Then isoflurane is from the Bayer, and we are working as a UPL. We are working on these two products. So ultimately, there is a need for safer and sustainable options. Will definitely drive a need to establish the generation fungicides, which will include both chemistry as well as the biosolutions. So having said that, innovation will drive the market in future. So we at the UPL, so we are into a discovery. So we strictly follow this phase gates. So phase gate from 0, 1A and 2B. This all this synthesis will happen in the lab. When once the active ingredient is proven, we will push it to a next phase, that is 2A and 2B. When the 2A and 2B, it will come for the field evaluation at different geographies. So then once if you standardize this, the dosages and its crop and its the disease segment, then it will move into a third phase, that is a dossier phase. That is a regulatory the phase. And then once if you are done for the regulatory phase, then it will move to a next phase, that is a launch preparation phase. And from there it will go to the launch phase. So we are into a discovery, and we are following very strictly this the phase gates. So from 0 to 5, and we have very good R&D the setup in US, and our scientists are working day and night to launch the new active ingredients and new products. So we do also have about 8 global research stations based at different regions, different continents, and about 40 to 45 hectares land in one stitch. We have global research stations at Brazil, and similarly we do also have research stations at different continent like the France. In India also we have 2 research stations. One is at Pune and one is at Karnal. Having said that, lot of scope for the biosolutions, as these biosolutions are gaining a lot of importance, offering residue management, safety, application flexibility, additional plant health benefits, etc. So a lot of scope for the biosolutions. So we are already, as I mentioned, so almost 18 products are in our the basket. So which are bionematicides, bioinsecticides, and biofungicides. Very soon we are going to launch a product called laminarin against the powdery mildew, downy mildew, and bacterial the diseases. And this laminarin, it controls both fungal diseases as well as even bacterial diseases. We already launched this product almost in 16 countries. And this is a very, very unique product which we are going to launch soon. And same time, we also developing this product with the mixtures like sulfur and copper. So coming to the summary slides, so we need to collaborate to develop the competitive edge in the sustainable and differentiated solution for the customers. As a growers, as a horticulture growers, so many options are available around us. But what do I need out of this, and how it will impact on me as a grower? So a lot of discussions are happening around that MRL and residue the management. So what, being a farmer, being a grower, I want a tool to help me to take a better decisions. We need a tool to understand this one. Similarly, digital services, lot of digital services are available right now. So a lot of companies, they have launched mobile apps, including UPL. Very recently we launched application called as a Uniweed. If the farmer from the Bagalkot, if he click the weed, so it will immediately take into the database. It will identify the weed, and then it will link to the product, which product can be used, and it will also link to the dealer who is based within the 5-kilometer radius. So this is how a lot of apps are available, but still the farmer need how it has to be accessed and how it has to be make use of this one. And then integrated solution, lot of products are right now available. So the farmer needs a complete solution, complete package, schedule. So for that, the lot of trainings are also required. Coming to the chemistry and the bio integration, so dealers will give the many products. For example, if farmer asks for the downy mildew product, he will also give the adjuvants, he will also give the product the bio solutions or bio the products. But there is a lot of confusion on how to use, because farmers, they will not use as a preventive. So there also a lot of education is the required to educate the growers. For example, again, we need to prepare a schedule, and in the sequential application, you have to give some of the biosolution as a preventive. If you are giving 8 to 10 applications, so in between, after 3 to 4 applications of fungicide, 1 or 2 applications the bio fungicides, and even at the later stage, at the end, and you can give 1 or 2 applications with biofungicides. Thereby, you can minimize the residue level in the final produce. Similarly, certification programs, and also there is a badly need of skill development to the growers. So these are the needs. I think now it's a time to, of course, we are working collaboratively with the scientific community and with the industry, and still we have a lot of scope, work together, and to to help the growers to get benefit out of this. So this is in brief note, I would like to conclude my presentation, very short presentation. So thank you very much. Thanks for all the organizers who invited us for this such a great forum. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil Nagnur, for excellent presentation and in time, exactly 20 minutes. And you have covered at length about the products and the status of fungicidal research, both in India and abroad. And your last slide is really meaningful, because we have sustainable crop management diseases only in PP1. I will take up the questions afterwards. Now I see it.
My video is not on, but leave it.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Venkatesh has joined.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning,
request
Venkatesh.
Dr. Venkatesh to kindly share your slides so that.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a second, sir. I'll just share the slide deck. Yeah.
Before that, I have the privilege to introduce Dr. Venkatesh. He is my close friend. We studied together at UAS Bangalore. He is the product of UAS Bangalore. Basically, he is a virologist, but now he is an experienced scientist, researcher from developing the product to the launch. That is, he worked in DuPont Agro India Limited, PepsiCo as a vice president. Now presently he is working with PI Industries as vice president and head of the division of innovation of the products in the sustainable management of crop diseases. Doctor, I welcome you on behalf of the organizers, on my personal behalf, to listen to you, because right from the morning we are listening with the two stalwarts. We listened to Dr. S.D. Sawantji, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, who spoke on the grape story, and followed by, we also listened to Sunil Nagnur, Dr. Sunil Nagnur, who covered about the UPL product development. And here we have another industry which is working very hard for the sustainable management of the crop disease, not only in India, but also in abroad. And who is Dr. Venkatesh is leading, and we are proud that our alumni, my friends, are leading not only in India and abroad. So I welcome you to present your topic on industry innovations, fungicides, past, present, and future. You have 20 minutes time. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
Over to you now.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Good morning to all the delegates and my teachers and my scientists here, and happy to be part of this important conference. Thank you, Dr. Mehta, for inviting me to deliver a lecture on this topic, very important. I think from Sunil also, I could learn several things about the need of innovation, for sustainable management of all the plant diseases. I'll quickly go through the slides which I have prepared, and you can stop me anytime, but otherwise also, at the end, whatever is most convenient, we can take up the questions as well. I think it is very clear, what are those mega trends and challenges in agriculture. That's where, the innovation, the money is spent. The population is growing. We all understand that, the speed or the rate at which the population is growing, the cities are becoming big. 9 billion by 2050 means, additionally, we need to produce 70% more food than what we are producing today. At the same time, the farmlands per capita are not increasing at the same level. It has to be vertical rather than horizontal. Similarly, there is a huge growing of wealth. The middle class is increasing, which means increase in the demand for high quality, nutritional, healthy food at affordable pricing. Means, very high demand for the horticultural crops, especially the fruits and vegetables, where, there is a security in terms of nutrition. So without fungicides, in horticultural crops, there is a survey, there is an evidence that in fruits and vegetables, if you do not manage the plant diseases, the yield would go down by 50 to 90%. If there is 50% decrease in the productivity or 90% decrease in productivity of grape, just imagine how many people in this hall, in this conference, can afford to buy those fruits and vegetables. Forget about, the lower strata, even higher strata, middle class, higher class people will also think twice before buying high quality fruits and vegetables. So innovation is important. Fungicides are important. Disease management in horticulture is all the way very, very important at this juncture. So with this, we all understand, the alternate energy requirements. We all understand the climate change is leading to a lot of imbalance and bringing a lot of additional challenges to manage these important diseases in horticultural crops. In general, all the crops, but specifically horticultural crops, they are very prone for these changes. And it is going to be this scientific group and, the industry, which has to be more innovative and bring more innovative solutions so that, we have a sustainable management, sustainable production of food, sustainable, way of managing the things. I'll go to the next slide. Please stop me if you are not really, seeing the slide. Since, my topic talks about, the past, present, and future, it is always important to understand how the fungicide innovation has been evolving over a period of time. We all have studied as a student of plant pathology, we all started learning about, the dithiocarbamates, how they help, to improve the production of the crops across the world. Then, till date, they have been in use because, of there is no alternate factor, the TINA factor we call, because of their, the affordability, because of their multi-site action, because of, the way they manage the multiple diseases. So they are still active in the marketplace, but there is some pressure. We'll talk that pressure in the next slide. Of late, I think Sunil reviewed it. I joined him late, but a lot of these classes were also, discussed in the past. Look at the use rates also. Per hectare in the molecules invented in 1940s, it is almost 2,500 gram active ingredient per hectare. Means, there is higher level of environmental loading. Yeah, keep apart the safety, even the loading, environmental loading is higher in terms of active ingredient per hectare. So this was always a target for all the innovative companies to bring down these, gram active per hectare, so that, the environmental loading or overall the residues, overall, the contaminations would go down. So as we evolved, there comes, the morpholines and the sterol DMIs, or sterol biosynthesis inhibitors, where the rates started going down to 600. Then further, the MBCs, the methyl benzometazole carbonates, exemplified with, carbendazim, they brought down the use rate further to off. Then comes the triazoles, triazoles, the use rate, average use rate came down to 150. Then came strobilurins, a great invention. They have been, selling in a big numbers across the world. The use rate further came down to 125. Then comes SDHIs, where, the amides, again, further there was a reduction of use rate to close to 100. Then in the new generation molecule like Zovec or oxathiopipronil, the use rate is 15 gram in certain crops and 30 grams in certain crops, 15 to 30. From 2,500 gram active ingredient to 15 to 30 gram active ingredient, industry has been striving hard to bring a great products into the marketplace, which can bring down the environmental loading. Not only that, the safety levels, safety levels are so good in these molecules. I mean, there is a overall improvement in terms of, the evolution of fungicides. These new molecules are more safer, more, less use rate, more eco-friendly. So in this kind of a thing, so new molecules are always more effective in lower dose, less harmful to human health and environment. There is a great progress as far as the, bringing down the environmental loading is concerned. We should also look at the evolution of regulatory system, because, they go hand in hand. The molecules which were invented early, they did not go through severe regulatory, scrutiny. There used to be only few studies. So you pass these few studies, you bring the molecule into the marketplace. But as the time lapsed and as the awareness increased, as, the more and more publications came into picture, maybe a starting point was, the Silent Spring in 1958. That book changed a lot, and evolution of the regulatory started happening. Of late, large number of battery of studies are conducted. As far as my knowledge goes, almost 150 human and environment toxicology studies done at a good laboratory practices, GLP, is a great example where, whatever the food which we are eating, is safer than before. So there is a good regulation. There is always, striving for safer products, whether it is for humans or for the environment. So I can say, the number of molecules synthesized to bring a new molecule, were very few in the past. In 1965, it was 100. Today, a big innovation company, they have to screen 160,000 compounds to bring one molecule into the marketplace. Means this is mainly coming from, the evolution of regulatory environment, number of safety parameters considered. So the cost also has increased in a big way. I can also talk that in terms of, the actual cost, which were very low in the beginning. Now, from 1995 to now, the total cost required to bring a new molecule has been doubled. Okay, moving to the next stage, next slide. Sunil also talked about, the resistance. two factors pushes hard to innovate new products. One is the regulatory challenges, which includes MRLs, the safety, or endocrine disruptions, or development tox related matters, leaching to contamination of groundwaters. All those regulatory challenges needs innovation to bring safer products. The most important one is resistance. I think the resistance is a reality in our industry across the crops, across pathogens. Sometimes it is more, sometimes it is less, but the large number of products are lost to resistance. I mean, the most advanced class of chemistries also face huge challenge of resistance. Strobilurins, today the biggest challenge for strobilurins is the resistance in many, disease and crop segments. Soybean rust, the downy mildews. I mean, the oomycetes diseases, and they, in fact, rice blast in many countries. So we can name many diseases where we are losing a lot of tools to manage the disease because of the resistance, and the value also diminishes when the resistance comes. The usage of the product goes down, and the money which you have invested on developing a new product goes down. At the same time, farmers, growers who need more tools to manage the diseases, they also lose these molecules because of the regulatory pressure, and resistance pressure. So this is an important aspect to understand, and accordingly innovate new mode of actions, or new way of binding patterns, and also resistance management strategies. I mean, it is not possible to bring a new product every year, but at the same time, with the proper resistance management strategies, we can extend the life cycle of these products. Yeah. So I'll go to the next slide. Uh, in a different form, this slide was again explained by Sunil. Discovery to development is a long process. Discovery optimization happens, development happens, launch happens. During this period, lot of optimization, advanced optimization, lot of toxicology studies, environmental fate, ecotox studies, efficacy studies, the residue studies. All these will be conducted, as I told, almost 150 studies. Then, the product will be registered after a strict scrutiny. The regulatory systems are very evolved everywhere. Then, the product comes to the marketplace. So, lot of in vitro, in vivo, physicochemical properties, the food safety studies, in fact, resistance, understanding the mode of action and resistance pattern, and formulating it accordingly, making the combinations, and bringing the product. I mean, overall, this, how much this would cost to an organization which is bringing the product to the marketplace? It can easily take 9 years. Average, it is 8 years. The best is Rynaxypyr, 7 years. I mean, fungicides generally take little more time compared to insecticides, and you can easily lose 9 to 10 years, and the amount of money you will be spending is close to almost 1,500 crores by the time you put your product into the marketplace. So you bring a product into the marketplace, and if there is a resistance on the day one, or early resistance development, very difficult to motivate any organization to really to invent new molecule and bring that molecule to the marketplace. So hence, managing the resistance, managing and failing fast. All these toxicology studies, instead of taking it up at development stage or launch stage, most important toxicology, effect, all those studies will be done at very early as a strategy by the organizations. If you want to fail fast, so that you don't lose a lot of money. So hence, lot of these studies are done very early on. So overall, because of the high regulatory environment, and the cost and time, is really long timing and higher costs. So this I talked about, the success rate to bring a molecule to the marketplace. Now, really, the organizations have to screen large number of compounds before we bring a suitable compound to develop and, bring it to the marketplace. So many times, the scientific community will be, amazed to think about, like, what are the sources of innovation for these organizations. So all these, companies who are into inventing a new fungicide, they will be working on multiple strategies. The most important one is the blue sky approach or random approach. This has been done historically. You have a new chemistry coming up, and people try to, screen all the molecules and see whether this has any impact on the on our target fungi. Sometimes there is a known active ingredient in the marketplace, or somebody has worked in it, but it has a weakness in terms of stability, in terms of toxicology concern. People continue to work and optimize it, bring a new molecule. Patents, people do watch patents from big organizations which has a lot of money and the revenues. So the smaller organization and fast followers do study the patents, find the gap, and if there is a gap in their patents, people do bring the molecules to the marketplace. For example, triazoles, there are 53 triazoles. So one company first invented, rest of them followed, by identifying the gaps in those patents. Then scientific publications, a lot of government bodies, they don't take the product into the marketplace. They publish, in great journals. So a lot of ideas also come from the publications. Natural compounds, strobilurins you heard, there are many others, new generation compounds. There is something happening in the nature. They identify the fungicidal action and they find out the synthetic route and bring the molecule to the marketplace. So indication shift. Pharma is also very important source of innovation. There is some fungi in human beings, and it is being controlled by a triazole or some other. So agro quickly picks up the compound and find out a suitable compound here. Experience, lot of industry, especially people who have spent 50 to 100 years, by experience, they predict certain pathways and bring new products. Molecular modeling, another new tool wherein through the artificial intelligence, they identify the binding site and design the compound, and this designed compound is made in the laboratory, screened and identified, and if it is found active on any of the molecules, this also can be a source of innovation. Molecular biology, certainly an important tool going forward. A sprayable RNAi compounds are being developed and will be reality in the near future. Okay, these were the main sources of innovation which industry will be looking at. So, in the modern era, the research or developing a molecule is not a simple biology and chemistry. It is much more multidisciplinary nowadays. Biology, biochemistry, you need to identify the mode of action, binding pattern, you need to identify, the suitable formulation, proper binding mode so that, the cross resistance can be properly understood. Metabolism, basically I'm talking about, very huge number of scientific communities involved before you bring a product into the marketplace. I was talking about molecular modeling and scientific computation. This is one of the most advanced and modern, tool everybody is using, and this is really helping us to reduce the number of synthesis of huge number of compounds, and identify really very novel site of actions, and this is a great tool to support the discovery process. If I have to show how a disease cascade, like, the disease screening cascade looks like. I think, Sunil also talked about it. After identification, we have a broad, number of the pathogens, which we representative pathogens of multiple targets. We screen them, we characterize them, laboratory, then greenhouse, then microfield, then field, then agroclimatic conditions. It goes on. And number of mode of actions, you know, as for 2020 FRAC, there are 13 modes of action. You can see the definition. There could be several, sites of action, differentially binding. Today, FRAC recognizes almost 230 fungicides. Sometimes you may question, we already have 230 fungicides in various, modes of action. Do you really need a new molecule, every year? Certainly, we talked about the resistance and regulatory challenges. A lot of them will be phased out, the moment you have a suitable alternate fungicide. So there are some new mode of action identified and being explored. To give a few examples, so these oxysterol binding protein inhibitors invented by DuPont is being developed. It's already being launched in certain countries. I'm sure in India also, the growers will access this technology very soon, by 1 or 2 years. This was entirely new mode of action, and this compound works at really low rates, high potency, and long duration of control. The physicochemical properties are really very good to give longer period of control, and still safer to use at various windows of disease management. There are beta tubulin chemistries being new sites of action here being worked out, and there are toxicological concerns, but the industry continues to explore this. Another new site of action in sterol biosynthesis, instead of C14, next step C24 methyl transferase, entirely new mode of action, site of action, though at the end it may inhibit ergosterol biosynthesis, but this will not have any cross resistance to all the triazoles. Excellent excellent source of innovation, but still under optimization. The another one is histone deacetylase inhibitors. These are cancer drugs. This is an example where pharma was working on it. A lot of cancer drugs were there, and a safer compound, to the cells has been identified as a fungicidal active compound. Now people are exploring this. So resistance came into picture in strobilurins for several years, and there is a new chemotype, which can which binds differently and still works against the resistant strobilurin. People are very creative here, especially this innovation came from a Japanese company, Sumitomo, and it is really a good technology, and it is going to help us to manage the resistance for some more time. DHODH is another a brand new mode of action in the respiration area. There were herbicides, there were fungicides, there were insecticides. Now there is a fungicide also being invented here. Similarly, GWT-1, early stage of exploration, again, which came from herbicidal innovation, and ACC inhibition, the acetyl-CoA carboxylase inhibition. Again, there were fungicides and there were herbicides and insecticides. Now we have identified a different class of chemistries which can inhibit ACCase in fungi and still be very safe to crop. So these are few of the new innovations which industry is exploring, and the scientific community here will get a hands on these compounds very soon to help them to characterize and assess their performance and bring and register the molecule in our country as well. Okay, we talked about innovation of the molecule for the resistance management and also to address the regulatory concerns. Resistance management is also managing the resistance is also very important tool, and it cannot be done by industry alone. We need cooperation from all the stakeholders. FRAC is there to set the guidelines, but at the same time, without the collaboration of growers, universities, Department of Agriculture, regulatory environment, advisory services, all these people who are connected to farmers should join the hands and manage the resistance and continue to provide all the tools to the growers as long as possible. I strongly believe in this. I think cooperation and collaboration will only help, and you do find a lot of information at FRAC, but at the ground level, somehow all the knowledge which is sitting there should be transferred, and a grower, we should all help grower to really manage the disease with the multiple tools he has in his hand. Sources, I think you all would have visited the FRAC. My request is there is a lot of knowledge sitting in CropLife, FRAC site. There are FAOs and the EPO guidelines are there. There are working groups, the resistance management working groups, the recommendations, whether it is insecticide or fungicides. So my request is all the people who are involved in the disease management and helping the growers should visit and learn a lot of it, and utilize the knowledge which is existing there. So players in the innovation are bringing a new molecule into the marketplace. Most of you would have heard about these names. These companies have been in the innovation space for quite some time. Some names have changed, some mergers have happened, some demergers have happened, but the name continues to exist. Lot of not only these big 4 or 5 names, but last 10-20 years, if you look at the most innovative new products have come from Japanese companies like Mitsui, ISK, Nichino, Nippon Soda, Nissan, Sumitomo, Kumei. All these companies are really bringing molecule to the marketplace with their creative, innovative space. PI Industries, our own Indian organization, has been involved in innovation of new molecule, the true discovery process since 6 years. That's when I joined this organization 6 years back. And the location of Innovation Center is Udaipur. I think this conference has close proximity to Udaipur. And whenever you are there next time meeting in Udaipur, I would invite all of you to visit a Discovery Center. This is really a world-class center with almost 200 scientists working to bring the molecule to the marketplace. There are good number of patents published, good number of molecules being considered for the next stage. Okay, to conclude, discovery and development of new mode of action fungicide is continuous activity to manage the fungal diseases. Rapid emergence of resistance is a growing threat to sustainable agriculture. Improved activity and potency of fungicides combined with environmental and human safety brings a lot of tools to marketplace, whether it is a consumer or grower. Use of new technologies, molecular modeling, genomics, proteomics, bioinformatics in fungicide design will greatly enhance invention of new mode of action fungicides. With this, thank you very much for the patient hearing, and over to you, Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Venkatesh, for excellent presentation and also keeping up the time exactly at 20 minutes. By sharing your valuable experiences that You were there in the field for the last more than 2 decades, and sharing your valuable experiences on the product development, designing, the problem of R&R, the regulatory as well as resistance, and how to cope up with. I feel this is a good eye-opener for not only the researchers, but teachers, but also those who are involved in the stakeholder analysis. At the end, you made the stakeholder analysis. I feel I fully agree with you. Unless and until the stakeholders, they make an analysis of the true resistance factors involved in the fungicidal resistance, I feel it will go a long way in addressing the issues. Thank you, Doctor, for sharing your valuable experiences and your innovations that you are bringing in with the PI industries will help not only the country but also abroad in near future. Thank you. Now I request the two oral speakers. We have with us two oral speakers, Dr. Sripad Kulkarni, sir. He is a professor and nodal officer for KVK. Sir, you can start sharing your screen.
Sir, Chairman, sir.
Dr. Sripad Kulkarni, sir, is there. So
Sir.
now we will take.
Okay, I will share, sir.
Yes, sir. You can start sharing your screen.
Yeah, I have started sharing the screen.
Go to the first slide.
Sir, is it visible now?
Sir, you make it a slideshow mode. Go to the first slide.
Is it visible now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, it is visible. Thank you, sir. Now we are going to listen to the oral presentation by Dr. Sripad Kulkarni, the Professor of Plant Pathology and Nodal Officer KVK from the University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad. He is going to speak on management of blast curve disease caused by Rhizoctonia solani through a penflufen, a new molecule. He is an experienced researcher and an extension functionary, and he has worked a lot on organic farming also. If I keep on introducing, it will take hours long. Now I invite Dr. Sripad Kulkarni, sir, for his presentation. Now it is over to Dr. Sripad Kulkarni, sir.
Good morning, sir. Respected chairman and fellow pathologists. You all know the potato is a very important vegetable crop in this part of country. So to tell about the potato, the production is about 6 lakh tons in Karnataka, which accounts for about 1.4% of the Indian production. The area is also about 45,000 hectares in Karnataka, and the Dharwad, Belgaum, Bangalore, Kolar, and Hassan, Chikmagalur districts, it's grown as a major crop. In Kolar district, in some part of Kolar district, it is grown as a irrigated crop also. Most of the time, the kufri and other varieties are used. Although the many varieties are there, these many diseases are predominant on this crop. The Rhizoctonia solani, it also causes the black scurf disease in potato. It's a polyphagous organism. You can see here the experimental plot wherein we conducted this experimentation for 2-3 years. The potato is a very much problematic crop as far as diseases are concerned. Right from our UG days, we have learned about the Phytophthora and how it has caused the ISMPP, all that we have to recall some time. And the dry sclerosis of the pathogen, that's of Rhizoctonia solani, reported to survive for many years in the soil, and that is the major problem. It causes the germination inhibition, sprouting, sprouts killing, stem stolen, and root damage also. You can see here in the picture also. There are two types of symptoms it causes. One on the stem stolons, and second one on the tubers. The first, it starts with the leaves drying brown and slightly sunken, and the spots you can see here on the collar region. The growth of the Rhizoctonia and the sunken spots. Then these spots elongate and cause the canker. And in later part, the wilt of the plant will be there. Sometimes dieback is there on the tips, and the irregular sclerotia you can see on the at the collar region of the plant, and even on the tubers also you can see the sclerosias. The cool weather for a few weeks after planting with temperature about 18 degrees centigrade, mostly the cooler temperature and soil pH of 7 or less, acidic pH causes the more favors the disease development. If you delay the harvesting, the disease is more severe. What happens in this part of the Karnataka, most of the time the tubers are brought from the northern India. By the time they reach to the Dharwad and Belgaum region, lot of infection will be there because of the temperature inside the transportation van and so many other factors results in the development of this kind of disease. The long distance movement of the tubers that results to the development of the disease. You can see here how we conducted the experimentation. We had an 5x5 treatment plot wherein we prepared the tubers. Then the chemicals chemical was measured. Then this how the solution was prepared. The idea here main to conduct this experimentation was to reduce the cost of cultivation and to manage the disease effectively. This is how we mix the tubers in the solution of this penflupin. It's a very good chemical sold in the name of MS2 prime by the Bayer. Then this is how we soak the tubers in the solution for about 20-30 minutes. Then they are dried in the shade, then use it for the planting. If you look at the experimental plot, experimental field, in some of the plots, in some of the treatments, it gave very good effect against this black scurf. You can see the infection on the root and ground region, infection on tuber. You look in the third photograph, wherein with the usage of this penflupin, you could get the healthy tubers. Coming to the results, you can see here the different treatments. We used different concentrations of penflupin along with the carbendazim, bemison, and monocerar, and so many other treatments, and with the different concentration. We conducted it for 3 years. Full data indicates the very good effective management of this black scurf over the years. The disease has been brought down from 29.79, that is in fact about 30% disease was there in the control, which has been brought down to 10%. In fact, even the yield level, there was an increase in about 4 tons of the tuber per hectare in the treatment involving the penflupin 240 FS with about 83 ml per hectare. So even you can see the economic analysis also. This penflupin 240 FS when used as about 83 ml per hectare quantity, there was about 39% increase in the yield. Almost about 40% increase in yield was there, because most of the time in the farmer's field, either germination is inhibited or the seedling wilt will be there, dieback will be there. Lot of damage was there. Looking at that, only this experiment was planned with the help of the Bayer company, and the additional income we got was about 33,945 rupees per hectare, which works out about increment in cost benefit ratio of about 37%. 37% increase was there in the income, net profit. So overall, the results of the experiment on bioefficacy of penflupin against potato black scurf disease indicated that all the treatments with different concentration tested, they varied significantly. Over the years, the disease incidence was observed with 0.083% was only 10.2% compared to the control that is of 29.79%. The highest mean yield was with this treatment only, that is about 12.16 ton per hectare, as against the 8.70 tons per hectare in the check. Although tuber treatment with emison resulted in effective control of the disease, yield-wise it was not superior. We could also notice no adverse effect on the germination, plant stand, and plant height when this penflupin was used, even at the higher doses. Then I have already clarified the economic analysis indicated about 37.75% the enhanced additional income. We also conducted this in farmers trial in about 7-8 districts coming under the US jurisdiction. There was increase in yield also about 10.8% in overall increase was there with this penflupin, and we included this even in the package of practice also in the horticulture package practice published by the UHS Bagalkot. This is some one of the small experimentation we conducted. What I feel is if it is part of the IDM along with the green manuring, summer flowering, then along with some neem cake, in addition to the tolerant varieties. This is going to help the farmers in a long way. That's what we could conclude from this experimentation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for excellent presentation and also keeping the time and also showing developing this technology for the benefit of farming community. We have the next speaker, Dr. Ramamurthy.
Yes, sir.
Professor of TNAU. You can start
Yes,
sharing the slide.
Yeah, sure. 1 second.
Yeah.
Good morning to all. And first of all, is my slide visible, sir?
Yes, it is visible, and now you can go ahead with your presentation. Dr. V. Ramamurthy, he is going to speak on product and stability of gliotoxin, a biofungicide in liquid formulation and in soil ecosystem for crop product protection. So you can go ahead.
Thank you, sir. And first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for giving me an opportunity to present my the ongoing research project on production stability of gliotoxin. This is the antibiotic next to penicillin produced by the trichoderma that will see one by one. And we know the trichodermas are the soil saprophyte. There are several species, and they have various mechanisms by which they suppress the soil-borne pathogen, among which antibiotics are the one of the components. So the several trichoderma species produce various antibiotics, among which the gliotoxin is the important one, and it is a sulfur-containing antibiotic. And first, it was isolated from the trichoderma virens, and it has broad spectrum antifungal and antibacterial activity. And this is considered as the second antibiotic next to the penicillin. And during 1980s and 1990s, and this was the first strain commercially formulated as a biofungicide in the name of GlioGuard and SoilGuard. And the main factor, important mechanism by which this trichoderma virus, that is the biofungicide, first biofungicide, is due to the production of gliotoxin. It also has, in addition to that, it has a mycoparasitic activity. But main mode of action is by production of the gliotoxin, mainly gliotoxin. And it produces a maximum of 200 microgram per ml of the culture medium. And we have there is no report on how much level of gliotoxin is produced when it is in soil and at what population level this trichoderma produce this much how much quantity of glutax. That no one studied, and we obtained the project from the Baba Atomic Research Center to study the stability, persistence of glutaxin in soil system, because so far there is no information on its stability, persistence, and how long it persists, and how in which soil it persists, whether it persists in black soil or the red soil or clay soil, so and does it persist in what kind of soil moisture condition, and what kind of sterility factor, pH level. So all these information we started to study in this project. Initially, we started to isolate several trichoderma species and analyzed whether they produce glutaxin. None of them, no trichoderma species produce glutaxin, and it is very peculiar. And we started to search previous publication, and they noticed that several trichoderma species do not produce glutaxin except the trichoderma virens. And they also previously published isolation of trichoderma virens, that too glutaxin producing trichoderma virens. They used the selective medium that selective allows the particular organism that, and we followed the same selective medium that is glutaxin amended PDM medium, and we got a few strains, among which TK2, the TK2 produced the largest amount of glutaxin, about 180 to 200 microgram per ml, and these glutaxin producing trichoderma virens were confirmed based on the conidiform morphology and also based on the ITS sequence analysis. Typically, trichoderma virens has penicillium type of conidiophore like this, and whereas other trichoderma species has well branched primary conidiophore followed by the secondary conidiophore, and these secondary conidiophores are branched at right angle, and that bear the phyalides. Phyalides are the conidiogenous cells, otherwise called conidia bearing the cells. And based on the phenotypic character, and it is easy to identify under laboratory conditions. So just under the microscope, we confirmed that. And again, they were confirmed by molecular technique, molecular analysis, especially the internal transcribed spacer sequence analysis that matched from the database. That we confirmed that these isolates are trichoderma virens. With regard to the glutaxin metabolism, at what time the glutaxins are produced and what time they are degraded and what they are destabilized. With regard to the metabolism, the glutaxin is produced on the second day of incubation and started to accumulate maximum on the fourth day, then gradually decreased. And then after 6 days, typically on 8th day, completely it disappeared. And at the same time, from the 6th day, another compound appeared. That same pattern was also observed. This is in the culture medium, extracellular medium, and that same pattern was also observed in the mycelium. That means glutaxin is synthesized in the fungal cell, and that is excreted out, and also the glutaxin present in the mycelium in the cell itself also converted into the another modified glutaxin. And in order to identify the identity of the modified glutaxin, we subjected the modified glutaxin and in the LCMS analysis, and we found that the modified glutaxin is the bis-methyl glutaxin. The glutaxin has 327 Dalton, whereas the bis-dimethyl glutaxin has the 357. That is 30 Dalton added value. This is absent here, whereas this is absent here. That means the methylated glutaxin is produced during the late growth phase. That means glutaxin produced later is converted into the non-methylated form. Now to test whether the glutaxin which one has more potent antifungal activity, there are toxic activity. The glutaxin, that is the 4th day culture filtrate, 6th day culture filtrate has glutaxin, whereas 10th day culture filtrate has the methyl glutaxin. The glutaxin has the antifungal activity or toxic activity, whereas methyl glutaxin does not. And with regard to the stability in irrigation water and also the bioformulation, that is culture medium that is used for liquid bioformulation development, and we noticed that glutaxin is stable under acidic condition in liquid bioformulation. However, that is stable for up to a period of 10 days. After that, it is destabilized into the methylated production. Whereas when it is spiked in the, sterile and also unsterile water, the irrigation water, it is stable for the experimental period of 20 days under acidic pH, but it does not stable under alkaline pH. So that means if we develop this glatoxin in culture free or trichroma cell free bioformulation, this glatoxin can be stable. That's the finding of this experiment. And we also applied the glatoxin in different soil samples. We used the acidic soil of pH 5.4 and alkaline or neutral soil or slightly alkaline soils of pH 7 and 7.5, that region. And we don't, and also we maintain the soil moisture level at wet condition, moderately dry condition, and dry condition. And we noticed that stability of glatoxin is very high or more stable under dry condition, but it is not stable in wet condition. And this is in sterile condition. That is, the soil samples were sterilized and the samples were wetted in different moisture condition. At wet condition means 100 to 90% wet condition, moderate means 50%, dry means 10 to 20% water holding capacity. And we use the natural soil, and natural soil that comparatively compared to the sterile soil, natural and autoclaved soil, the degradation is much faster. Dissipation of glatoxin is much faster. This indicates that soil microorganism also unknown, unidentified microbe also degrades the glatoxin under wet condition, mainly under wet condition. That means microbial population, microbial activity is very high under wet condition. That fastens or enhances the degradation in wet condition. And in addition, in wet condition, the stability is a little bit more compared to the neutral and alkaline pH. Stability of glatoxin is more, comparatively more in acidic soil and compared to the alkaline soil. So this indicates that the soil microbes also degrades the glatoxin. Wet condition also enhance the glatoxin. That means wet soil and the microbial population both have additive effect on degradation, whereas moderately dry soil and dry soil and moderate dry soil, glatoxin stable for a period of 10 days. And this is the conclusion of this experiment. So then we noticed that at what concentration is inhibitory, and we noticed that at 50 to 100 ppm this fungi toxic in nature, and less than that and is not effective. And when we also tested whether the glatoxin has phytotoxicity effect, but it does not. Glatoxin does not have any phytotoxicity effect. And then we tested the glatoxin producing strain and glatoxin non-producing same trichroma variants for under part culture condition under two different times, and we noticed that glatoxin producing trichroma variants has a very good effect in suppression of the disease by applying seed treatment and also 2 times of soil application compared to the non-glatoxin producing trichroma variants. This indicates that from this study we conclude that among the several trichroma species, only trichroma variants so far only produce, that is trichroma variants only produce glatoxin. And glatoxin is produced at the early logarithmic growth phase. Usually secondary metabolites are produced during the late logarithmic phase or late growth phase or stationary growth phase. But this is the typical exception. Glatoxin is produced at the early logarithmic growth phase. And glatoxin degraded at alkaline pH, whereas it is stable in acidic condition. And with regard to the wetness of soil, it is more stable in dry and moderately wet soil. However, it is quickly degraded in the wet soil. And glatoxin producing strains are effective for crop disease management. And this experiment shows that further we are also studying whether this glatoxin alone can be formulated for management of disease. And this study shows that when it is applied under moderately dry and dry soils the acidic soil, it would be highly stable for a period of 10 to 20 days, and that would be effective for managing the several soil-borne disease. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for your excellent presentation and also keeping the time on an approach of isolation, characterization of gliotoxin as a disease suppressing agent. Excellent. You have done it through the external funding. That's also a great thing. I would like to take one or two quick questions from the participants to all the speakers. There are 3 lead speakers and we had 2 oral presentations. If anyone is having any doubt, they can raise their hand and then quick questions. Otherwise, already we have taken 2 hours time. We started at 9:35. Now it is 11:35. Participants, you can just, if you have got any questions, you introduce yourself and then go for quick questions. I will give another 10 seconds.
Good morning.
Yes.
Sir, good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Rajendran from TNA Yasna Group, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Sir, regarding the blast curve management, no, only the chemical they sprayed as a seed treatment. Whether the seed treatment alone is effective for that blast curve, and also whether they recorded any other diseases, foliar diseases in potato.
Dr. Sripal Kulkarni. Dr. Sripal Kulkarni is online.
Dr.
I hope this will be taken into in the chat box. Maybe they might have recorded the other diseases also, but mere seed dipping, how far it will help to manage the blast curve along with the other disease. I hope
Dr. Shripad Kulkarni, I think he has left. Is not seen in the joint list. Anyway, we'll be communicate the same question to him and get back to you. Hello,
Mr. Rajendra, you directly.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Jagirda sir, I think we can end the session. Let co-chairman pass his remarks.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, sir.
Chairman, sir. Hello. Okay. He is muted.
Some disturbance, it seems. Co-chairman, sir, can you?
Yes, sir. First of all, I'm very much thankful to Dr. Mehta and his team, and also all the officials of the Indian Society of Mycology and Plant Pathology for giving me an opportunity to act as a co-chairman for this session, fungicides in plant disease management. Sir, there are the 3 lead lectures in these sessions and 2 oral presentations. First lead lecture by the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. Baba Saheb Sawant, Konkan Krishi Vidyapit, Dapoli, Maharashtra. And also the Dr. Venkatesha ji and Dr. Sunil ji and Dr. Edith Sawant, sir. He has shared his huge experience about the fungicides in disease management, and he are specific to produce the zero residues products. Earlier, we know that earlier he was the director of the NRC grapes, and he have the huge experience in the grapes. We know that most of the farmers are using the most costly and very some dangerous chemicals for the management of the plant diseases, especially the powder mildew, downy mildew, and also the anthracnose disease. Disease has been in review from the PI industry. Dr. H.M. Venkatesha ji also shared his experience on the innovations of fungicides. Also the Dr. Sunil ji, who are from the UPL Limiteds, and to Dr. Sripad ji and Dr. Ramamurthy ji, they are also presented their oral presentations. Once again, I am very much thankful to the organizers and the Indian Society of the Mycology and Plant Pathologies for conducting this annual meet of the 41st annual meet and the national conference. And thank you very much to Dr. Mehta and all his teams. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I was 1 second away. I thank the organizers thank you, Dr. Mohan Totawar, for nicely summing up the entire presentations. I request the rapporteurs to make the note of this and send it either to me or to Dr. Mohan Totawar by email so that we can make corrections and make some recommendations, because most of the times we organize symposiums, but we cannot give, we have to give the recommendations to the agencies, either it is a government, state government or government of India, so that it can go as a policy issue also for the sustainable management of crop diseases. I thank the organizers, especially Dr. Mehta, for giving me an opportunity to chair this session, and also I thank Dr. M.S. Kulkarni sir, my teacher, the Dean Postgraduate Studies, and all the organizers for giving me an opportunity to chair the session. And also I thank the co-chairman and rapporteurs and all the participants and the speakers for their excellent participation in this session. Thank you. It is over to the organizers.
Now we have come to the end of first session of today. On the behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank the chairman, co-chairman, and the rapporteurs for leading the session. I would also like to extend my thanks to all the speakers who have enriched this session with their information-packed presentations. Now, let's move on to the next session and the last session of the conference on ecology and epidemiology of plant disease. This session is being chaired by Dr. Mukund S. Kulkarni, Dean Postgraduate Studies at University of Horticulture Sciences, Bagalkot. He has rich professional experience of 32 years involving teaching and research. Over the years, he has conducted research on groundnut, safflower, chickpea, and several other flower crops. He has immense contributions in the field of plant pathology and has published several research articles in journals of national and international repute. He has served as Dean, College of Horticulture at Babi for a long time and is presently serving as Dean, Postgraduate Studies at University of Horticulture Sciences, Bagalkot. And this session is being co-chaired by Dr. Gurudat M. Hetke, Senior Plant Pathologist, ACRP on Wheat and Barley, Main Agriculture Research Station, UAS Dharwad. He is a renowned scientist of plant pathology with 7 technologies to his credit. He is recipient of Achiever Award by Society of Advancement of Human and Nature and Best Senior Scientist Award by Agro-Environmental Development Society. The rapporteurs for the session are Dr. Abdul Karim, Assistant Professor of Plant Pathology, College of Horticulture, Sissi, and Dr. Sudarshan GK, Assistant Professor of Plant Pathology, College of Horticulture, Mysore. Now, I invite the chairman of the session, Dr. Mukund S. Kulkarni, to take over the session. Sir, please.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very glad to participate in this 41st annual conference of Indian Society of Mycology and Plant Pathology. This is all of you know, this is a national e-symposium, and the title is Innovative Approaches in Plant Health Management. And this is the last day, and this is the 4th session. The session is on ecology and epidemiology of plant diseases. As all of us know, as plant pathologists, the study of epidemiology is most important in managing the plant diseases, which are causing havoc and causing severe losses to most of our crops, which we are dependent on for our satiating our hunger and to the growing population needs. So in this session, we have one lead lecture by Dr. Sri Hari Sabnis, Professor of Plant Pathology, College of Agriculture, Pune. But I have heard that he is not well and he is not going to present his presentation. There are 2 oral presentations. The first presentation is Rajashree Chetia. She will be presenting on new and emerging bacterial diseases in fruit crops, and it will be followed by Dr. Jaimin R. Pandya, who will be presenting his research findings on fusarial wilt, a threat to chili and growers of Gujarat. How much time? Each presentation presenter will get 10 minutes, and he has to sum up his findings and also contribute to the development of plant pathology as a whole. I wholeheartedly invite Rajashree Chetia for her presentation now.
Rajashree, kindly share your slides.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
And please put on your video.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Sir. Okay. A very warm good morning to one and all present here. Myself, Rajesh Setia from Assam Agriculture University, would like to welcome you all for my today's presentation. First of all, since we all know that Assam as well as other northeastern states are biodiversity hotspot for.
Video.
Yes, sir. Sir, visible?
Not visible.
Okay,
Yeah,
please carry on. Please carry. Your slides are very visible. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, so since we all know Assam as well as other northeastern states are biodiversity hotspot for several flora and fauna, and in these regions, fruit crops are widely cultivated. As you can take example, region, and they have a huge economic value. And also, states like Assam, they are among the top 10 states for banana production. But despite of the tremendous scope of fruit production in the northeastern state, huge economic losses have been reported every year due to several diseases. So let's have an outlook about what are the new and emerging bacterial diseases in fruit crops of Assam. Like it is well stated that the cultivation of fruit crops contribute to health, happiness, and prosperity of the people. And India is the second largest producer of fruit next to China. It also produces highest quantity of fruits like mango, banana, sapota, and also other important fruits like papaya, citrus, and so on. In the year 2018, National Horticultural Board had stated that the production of food crops was about 97 million metric ton. And the agri-based Indian economy is heavily dependent on the production and export of food crops, which helps in enhancing the economic status of the country. But plant diseases caused by bacterial pathogen impose major constraints on food crop production in different states of our country. Now, although these diseases cause severe losses to different food crops in different states of our country, however, not much work has been done on bacterial diseases of these crops in Assam, including other northeastern states. So identification, characterization may help to understand the specific disease problem and will help in management of the pathogen associated with the disease. With this background, we have formulated the objectives as isolation, identification, and characterization of bacterial pathogens associated with diseases of food crops. We have collected the fruit crop samples from different crops such as mango, banana, pomegranate, peach, plum from several districts of Assam. And this pathogens of bacterial origin were isolated, and their pure cultures were maintained on different media, agar medium, triphenyl tetrazolam chloride medium, yeast glucose chalk agar medium. Then morphological, cultural, and pathogenic characters of the isolates were also studied, which was followed by the biochemical characterization. Further, we went for the molecular characterization following 16S rRNA sequencing, and phylogenetic analysis was done so as to confirm the identity and determine the taxonomic position of the different isolates. In this picture, we can see that the brown necrotic spots on diseased pomegranate leaves, which are surrounded by yellow halo. Here we can see the disease symptoms on the pomegranate fruits. In this picture, the disease symptoms was observed on dwarf Cavendish banana variety, that is vascular browning symptoms on the pseudostem. In this picture, in the diseased mango leaves, we can see brown angular to irregular lesions, which are surrounded by yellow halo. Here, in case of the peach leaves, in the first picture, we can see the small brown spots with yellow halo. And in the second picture, the disease in the diseased leaves, the spots coalesce to form necrotic areas, leaving a ragged short hole. In case of the plum leaves, in the first picture, small surrounded by yellow and picture symptoms appearance on the disease leaf. And in the third picture, we can see rough necrotic spots on the plum fruits. We have isolated the pathogens from these disease samples, and we have purified the cultures, and the cultures were maintained on the nutrient agar slant. And we have designated the isolates as R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5 as per convenience of our studies. Here we have also studied the morphological, cultural, and pathogenic characteristics of the isolates, where we found that the isolate R1 produced white fluidal circular to irregular creamy colonies in the TTC medium. And the isolate R2, it produces light yellow mucoid colonies in the nutrient agar medium, and it produces yellow glistening colonies in yeast glucose chalk agar medium. Similarly, in case of isolate R3, light yellow mucoid colonies were produced on nutrient agar medium, and yellow glistening colonies were produced on YGCA medium. In case of the isolate R4, yellow mucoid colonies were produced on the nutrient agar medium, and yellow glistening colonies of isolate R4 was also observed in yeast glucose chalk agar medium. The isolate R5 also showed similar characteristics, and it produced yellow mucoid colonies in nutrient agar medium, and it produces yellow glistening colonies in YGCA. Then we went for the pathogenicity test of this isolate in their host crop, where we have seen that the isolate R1 on after 3 weeks of inoculation, it produces a typical yellowing of the leaves in the treated plant, and later on in wilting of the plant occur. This protocol we followed was the root inoculation technique given by Winstead and Kalman in the year 1952. For the isolate R2, we have followed the detached leaf inoculation technique given by Tooth in 1969, and the same protocol was used for the other isolates such as R3, R4, and R5. In case of the isolate R2, we have taken 2 plates where we have inoculate, where we can see the appearance of symptoms in the treated plate and no symptoms appear on the control plate. Similarly, in case of the isolate R3, where we have done the pathogenicity test on the pomegranate leaves, we can see that the disease symptoms appear on the treated plates, whereas no symptoms appeared on the control plates. And in case of isolate R4, that is on the peach leaves, we can see the symptoms that appear on the treatment plate and no symptoms appear on the control plate. Similarly, in case of the isolate R5, which is plum leaves, we can see that the treated plants showed symptoms as compared to the untreated plants. Then we have studied the morphological, cultural, and biochemical characterization, and we have depicted the results in the form of a table where we have studied the several characteristics of all the isolates. And we also went for the biochemical characteristics such as the KOH test, catalase test, oxidase test, stars hydrolysis test, and so on. We have studied all these characteristics for all the isolates. We also went for seeing the utilization of carbohydrates by all the isolates by using the high carbo kit. Later, for further identification of the isolates, we went for the molecular characterization. Here we followed the, where we extracted the bacterial genomic DNA by following the protocol given by Cardinal and his co-worker in the year 1997. And after after extracting the total genomic DNA, we have the PCR amplification was done using the universal primers. Here we can see that this in this picture, the molecular characterization of the isolate DNA, and we can see the bands which showing the amplification at the size of 1200 to 400 base pair. And later, after sequencing, we went for the NCBI blast analysis, where we found that the isolate R1, it showed maximum homology with the Egypt isolate, which was found to be Ralstonia solanacearum. And for the isolate R2, after nucleotide and NCBI blast analysis, it has shown maximum homology with the Japan isolate, which was found to be Gentomena citri petaver magniferi indici. In the third isolate, that is isolate R3, after NCBI blast analysis, it showed maximum homology with the Indian isolate, which was found to be Gentomenas exonopodis petaver punici. For the isolate after the SBI blast analysis, it showed maximum homology with the New Zealand isolate, which was found to be Xanthomonas arboricola pretiver pruni. And lastly, the isolate R5 after SBI blast analysis, it shows maximum homology with the Japan isolate, which was also found to be Xanthomonas arboricola pretiver pruni. So, however, now the conclusion on the basis of cultural, morphological, biochemical studies, these 5 isolates were identified as a genus Ralstonia in case of banana and Xanthomonas in case of pomegranate, mango, peach, and plum. Further molecular characterization and phylogenetic analysis also revealed that the isolate R1 from banana causing bacterial wilt of banana was Ralstonia solanacearum, and the isolate R2 was found to be Xanthomonas cypri petiver indici, which causes bacterial canker in mango. The isolate R3 from pomegranate was found to be Xanthomonas exonopodis petiver punici, causing bacterial blight of pomegranate. Both the isolate R4 and R5 was found to be Xanthomonas arboricola petiver pruni, which was the causal organism of bacterial leaf spot of stone fruit respectively. However, these diseases has not been reported earlier from Assam as well as other northeastern state, except one of the disease, that is bacterial blight of pomegranate, which was first reported from Assam by Dr. Elsie Bora and Lohit Kataki in the year 2014. Coming to the future prospect, the decline in the population of many wild indigenous fruits may be due to the emerging diseases, including bacteria, which needs further investigation. Now, detailed study covering almost all the diseases of food crops of Assam, including northeastern regions, required to know the diversity of this plant microflora so that proper management strategy can be applied. Well, with this, I'd like to conclude my presentation. Thank you so much.
Is it over?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Co-chairman, kindly take over the session. The chairman has left because of some work. Yes, over to co-chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Rajeshwari Chetia, for your very nice deliberation on new emerging bacterial diseases, with special reference to banana, mango, and other diseases Assam. You have very nicely narrated the biochemical, molecular characterization, and phylogenetic trees of the emerging disease of bacteria in and Assam. Now it is open for discussion. Any quick 1 or 2 questions from the participants to Dr. Rajeshwari?
Yes.
Yes, sir, please.
Rajeshwari.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you.
I have 2 questions. You have to give very minimum, very short answer. So what is the importance of bacterial disease in mango? Economic importance in Assam?
In Assam, actually, mango is not grown in such a commercial scale, but we haven't properly till date we haven't properly surveyed actually what are the diseases that can actually cause the hamper in the economic cultivation.
Good.
But
now next question. Yes, okay, I got understood, because economically still you do not know how it is affecting. Okay, that's why your study. Second is you have shown 4 to 5 isolates. You have amplified clone sequence bacteria based on the 16S RNA. So what are the difference among your isolates? Because your 4 isolates you have clone bacterial. So what are the difference?
They are different in their host crops. They are effective.
No. Nucleotide sequence. How much difference among your 4? What is the range? Your R1, R2, R3, R4.
The range is between actually 1200 base pair to 1400 base pair. I have
no, different, because you have shown the 99% homology with something 100% with something. What are the difference range between your 4 isolates? I mean, all the isolates are same.
No, sir. They are
based on
different.
nucleotide sequence.
Yeah, they are different. Different. They are, I have isolated from different host crops.
No. Because based on nucleotide, all are same. Because you could not analysis among your 4 isolates. Okay, you will analyze.
Yeah.
You analyze your 4 isolates. I think
Yes,
all
sir,
the
sir.
4s are same based on the sequence. Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Take
So
care.
Dr. Rajeshwari, I'm Dr. Rajendran from TNAU.
Yes, sir.
So for different isolates, no different crop, we have to mention the severity of diseases, prevailing severity of diseases in your northeastern states.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Biswas ji. Is there any other questions from the participants? So, Rajeshri, what is the status of Erwinia wilt in banana in Assam right now?
Regarding Arvinia wilt, actually, we haven't surveyed that much because fusarium wilt work has been done on fusarium wilt only, and I'm going to start my research on this bacterial wilt of banana in this year.
Okay.
We're going to have a thorough survey on that part.
Fine. Thank you, Rajeshri Chetia, for your excellent presentation. Now we will request Jaiman R. Pandya to give his presentation. Jaiman Pandya, sir, please.
Yes.
Rajeshri, you please exit the screen. Rajeshri.
Okay. She has removed now. Pandya ji, please share slides.
Jaiman Pandya, please.
Yes, sir. Actually, I am not able to share my screen. That's why.
Jaimin Pandaji.
Yes, sir.
Open your, that is correct. Open your PPT first.
Yes, sir.
Then there is a green pop-up screen share is there in the Zoom app.
Yes, sir. I have seen. Okay, sir.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Visible, sir?
Yes, visible.
Go for a screen sharing.
Go for slideshow.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. First of all, I want to I am thankful to organizers to give me a chance for the oral presentation with short notice. My topic is on Fusarium wilt, a threat to chili growers of Bharuch district in Gujarat. This is the abstract of my research work. This is very basic research work we did. Actually, this is the research work of one of my PG student, Mr. Darsil Patel, and he's currently doing the research on this, but unfortunately he is not able to present himself. So I am presenting his research, and this research is also going on further. So basically what we did till now, you all are aware about the crop that is chili, and it belongs to the family Solanaceae and Capsicum annum L. This is the scientific name of the crop, and chili is the most suffering crop from the diseases and pests. You all are aware about all these things. This is about the area and production in Gujarat condition. Generally in Gujarat, area is 11,299 hectares with a production of 22,051 tons. And Gujarat is divided into the different zones like South Gujarat, Middle Gujarat, North Gujarat, and Saurashtra region, and few parts in the Kutch. So particularly we belongs to the South Gujarat region, and Bharuch comes under the South Gujarat. So it consists the 16% area with the production. So this is the status in South Gujarat, particularly in Bharuch belt. It is #1 in South Gujarat for the chili cultivated area and production. These are the few research works from the Gujarat, and very long gap between the research work in chili wilt also. So one of the scientists from the Junagadh, that belongs to the Saurashtra region, Mr. Kelaiya, and Yel Mame from the Navsari. So only few research work on the chili wilt. So that is why we have selected the topic for exploring the research work on, particularly on Fusarium wilt of chili. And I feel that there is need of systematic study of this disease also, and we have to explore the novel and modern approaches also, and specific management strategies also required for the farmers belongs to the, especially for the Bharuch district of the Gujarat. This is all about the symptoms. All the very well experienced plant pathologists here, and they all are knowing about the Fusarium wilt, how it is systematically produce the symptoms like yellowing, and then particularly we found that at maturity stage it comes very higher in incidence. This is about the methodology. Like we have done the survey around the Bharuch district of Gujarat, and we have calculated the person prevalence and person disease incidence also. So this is about the villages we have surveyed in the Bharuch jurisdictions. And about the result, this is about the prevalence, and it range from the 33.33% to 100% also. So these villages belongs to the Bharuch districts, Bharuch jurisdiction. This is about the chili wilt incidence in Bharuch districts, especially the villages like Vadfadia and Delhi. It gave the higher incidence in the Fusarium wilt of chili. And Mangleshwar and Kabirwad, it has no incidence. But of course, there are many villages we have surveyed, and we have collected the samples, and we have brought to the laboratory, and we are planning to get the isolates. At most, we have isolated this Fusarium fungus also, and we have gone through the microscopy also. So Canidia looks like this. Total 9 isolates till now we have obtained. Further study is going on these isolates also. We will be characterize these isolates on the basis of cultural, morphological, as well as at molecular level also. And pathogenic variability we will be doing on this also. These are the villages we have surveyed, and we have collected the samples. Besides the Bharuch, we also visited the Navsari also, and we have collected the samples from Navsari also. So this is not limit of the Bharuch jurisdiction, but entire South Gujarat we are planning to cover on this Fusarium wilt survey. So this is about the interpretation. Total 19 villages we have surveyed from the 4 tehsils of Bharuch districts of Gujarat, and we have obtained that Walia tehsils fields were found mostly affected as compared to the other areas surveyed. No incidents found in the Mangleshwar and Kabirwad also. Of course, higher percentage of disease incidence we have found at maturity level, that is November and December we found this disease very higher in incidence. Chili wilt caused by the Fusarium species, and of course I can say that this is the first initiated work in Bharuch jurisdiction, especially from the South Gujarat. And we are belonging to College of Agriculture Navsari or Agriculture University Bharuch. There is one college also, and chili growing areas we have visited, particularly at the fruiting stage it was found very much higher in incidence, and the pathogen, we obtained that this is tentatively identified as Fusarium species. Total 9 isolates we have obtained, and further research work is going on. Like more isolates will be collected for the characterization studies, identification of most virulent species of Fusarium, and that will be characterized at cultural level, morphological level, and molecular level also. Also, we have planned that nowadays the organic farming is into the consideration for the higher usage, as we all are aware about that the higher usage of pesticides. So this is the alternative of the pesticides, and we have planned that isolation of the native species of trichoderma from the chili wilt infected field also. So whatever the most efficient trichoderma isolates we will be identified, and we will be testing against this chili wilt also. Thank you, Thierry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jaimin Pandey. Thank you for your wonderful presentation and enlightening your research work on Fusarium wilt, a threat to South Gujarat area, especially on chili crops. It was a good presentation. Now, may I request the participants, if you have some major important questions to Jaimin Pandey, please, questions, please.
Dr. Jaimin Pandey, I'm Dr. Rajendran.
Yes, sir.
What is the status of dieback and fruit rot of chili, Colatricum capsicum, and also powder mildew, Levolilla tarica incidence in your area?
Yes, sir, it is there, but it is as compared to this wilt disease and as leaf curl disease. We have found leaf curl in very severe proportion in our areas, and so many, particularly in Gujarat, there is a 25% decreasing in our cultivation area also. That is due to the leaf curl disease and this wilt disease.
Okay, okay.
Any more clarifications? Any more doubts from any participants? Otherwise, Dr. Jaimin Pandey, it was a good presentation. And please take care of the other diseases like dieback, fruit rot, because they are also contributing a lot to the economic loss of the
definitely, sir, definitely
chili crop. Yeah,
definitely, and, sir. We will do.
We are happy that both the presenters have given the very new emerging disease in the respective states. The first presenter, Rajeshwari, she spoke about bacterial disease in especially in banana, Xanthomonas, that has first time appeared in and around Assam. And you from Gujarat, South Gujarat, you have concentrated on Fusarium wilt of chili. And in this ecology and epidemiology session, it is very, very important that being a plant pathologist, we should give the epidemiological touch also to these new emerging diseases in your respective states. Though they are age-old diseases, but many times minor diseases in a state becomes a major disease in a days to come because of the changing scenario of the environment. So kindly concentrate on epidemiology and try to give the forewarning to the farming system. Because ultimately, if you give the right time information to the farmers, it will be helpful to the farmers to go for organics. And I'm happy that Dr. Sahab, आपने जमिया पांडे जी, आपने organics biopesticides के बारे में कुछ बोला, and it was a very nice thing that everyone should go after that.
Yes,
and that is possible only when you give a forewarning, and these organic pesticides will come into rescue only when we give the precautionary sprays. Yes, understand? See, trichoderma, you said, native isolates, they're all very good, but it has to come into the practice.
Yes,
and
definitely.
That is where the ecology and epidemiology both should go hand in hand. We know these pathologists, ecology means we are giving more concentration to the microclimate.
Yes.
And supported by the epidemiology, the weather factors in relation to the occurrence or its incubation period when it occurs. So those things we have to consider in mind, and then we have to go for a management strategies. Thank you, Jaimin Pandey ji. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. Now, as a co-chairman of this ecology and epidemiology. Organizing secretary, sir, can we wind up this now?
Yes, we can wind up.
Yeah, just a minute. Now I would like to just throw some lights about this ecology and epidemiology in another 2 minutes, sir. This ecology is the study of, we all know this, interactions between organisms and the surroundings occurring within the ecosystem or environment. And this ecosystem is the functional unit of the environment. And this is always supported by the epidemiology. Being a plant pathologist, we know that disease triangle is very, very important. As it was mentioned in both the cases, susceptibility of the host and favorable environment and the host inoculum, sufficient inoculum, these must be there in that area. Then only the disease triangle will be fulfilled and we are going to see the different diseases. So in this context, both the presenters have done their job very well, and now only request to them is please see that it will not spread again in your area, so that you can take care of these diseases by suitable management strategies and giving forewarning to the farming community and doing much work. Especially the second speaker said, a lot of pathogenic and molecular variability needs to be studied, especially fusarium wilt. So those needs to be taken into consideration. And Madam Rajeshwari, your speak was also very good. Please concentrate on other diseases also. Moko wilt, of course, it is a major disease of banana, but kindly concentrate on other bacterial diseases. Because so far we were knowing that only fungal pathogens are the major or dominant one, but take care of viruses and other bacterial diseases into consideration before we take up a real research into this field. Okay. Thank you to the both speakers for your wonderful presentation. And now I will thanks the organizing secretary, Professor Raghavendra Vestaji, for giving me an opportunity to co-chair this last session on ecology and epidemiology in relation to plant disease. Thank you very much for the nice giving the opportunity. And I will request the rapporteurs, Abdul Karim sir and Sudarshan, kindly write to me, give the proceedings of the mail of these proceedings so that I can send it to the organizers in time. Thank you to the rapporteurs for noting down the proceedings and all the participants and especially the organizing secretary for giving the opportunity. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you.
So with that, we have come to the end of the final session of today's conference. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank the chairperson, the co-chairperson, and the rapporteurs for leading the session. I would also like to extend my thanks to the speakers for the informative presentations.
So here we are ending the forenoon session of the third day of the symposium. And afternoon, we have the valedictory function at 3 p.m. So kindly join at 3 p.m. Dr. S.T. Sawant sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Konkan Krishi Vidyapith, Dapoli, will be the chief guest of the function. And it will be presided by Dr. K. Minderesh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of UHS Bagalpur. The valedictory function will begin exactly at 3 p.m. Kindly join at 2:55 p.m. Thank you. Now we shall break for the lunch. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.